Hi, my name is Katy Bentz, and I am the voice actor for Steph in the Life is Strange video game franchise. And I'm a Twitch streamer as well as a actor, and I live out here in Los Angeles.
And Katie's streams are amazing, by the way. They're always super fun.
Oh shit! I just read. Oh, this is why my cord is broken because I just yanked it out of my PlayStation again.
What made you first want to get into acting?
Yeah, so I first wanted to get into acting, I guess when I was a freshman in high school. That's when I started doing drama. I was on the dance team freshman year, and it just wasn't my jam. The type of people were not very welcoming. And then I just stumbled upon drama, and I didn't really know anything about it, but I just liked the people, and I kind of admired everybody that was above me and wanted to be like them and be in the plays. And so that's kind of where it all started.
I didn't realize it started off like so early for you.
Not even like a lot of people start off way earlier than that. I was about
Hmm.
14.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So,
Yeah,
not too early, but yeah, my teens.
that's true. There are some people who start when they're like 8 or something, and I'm like, how are you
Mhm.
doing that so young?
I know. I wish that was me. Like I wish I had started younger, but it just wasn't I don't know, just didn't happen.
When you first got into acting for games, what was an unexpected challenge you faced with it, and what have you learned about yourself as an actor through it?
Yeah, I think voiceover in itself is just really challenging. I've learned I have a lot of random speech impediment things that like
Mm.
I didn't really know I had prior to doing voice acting. Yeah, I tend to do things that like I was never aware of that I would do. Reading scripts, especially when you're reading something for the first time, which is usually how it is in voiceover for video games. You kind of just
Mhm.
get the script right away, right then and there, and you just kind of have to go for it. So a lot of the times you don't really have time to look over. And yeah, so sometimes I'll just read words that aren't there. I'm slight dyslexic,
Mm.
um, not diagnosed, but from my experience. And yeah, I mean, I was just recording an audiobook the other day, and it was just like it was just happening a lot, and it just gets to me and stuff. So that was and still is always like an ongoing struggle that you just have to kind of work through, and yeah, just taking my time and stuff. But yeah, voiceover is just so different from being on the screen.
Yeah.
It's like when you're on the screen, there's so many more things to look at, to be aware of, ra- rather than just your voice. So, like, it's like you're putting a microscope on your voice, and all of everything involved in that is more amplified because there's nothing else going on.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You've played a variety of characters. What kind of character haven't you played yet, but is one that you would like to?
Just like one of those badass characters. Like, I mean, I
Mhm.
know Steph is a badass character, but I mean, like a femme fatale like type character, like like somebody who's going in guns blazing, like she's kicking everyone's ass. She's like, yeah, I don't know, some kind of like action adventure game situation would be fun. I'd even do that on camera. So yeah, that's definitely something that I have interest in. But also too, like it'd be fun to do more comedy. I haven't really had a lot of
Mm.
opportunities to do comedy. So I feel like doing like that supporting, comedic slapstick character would be really fun as well. Most probably for like on camera, a film or something short. But yeah, I think that'd be really fun.
You talking about like a badass character made me think. I don't know if it's because I'm playing that right now, but I'm like, oh, they should put you in like the next Cyberpunk.
Yeah, that would be so sick. Yeah, that would be so cool. Yeah, something like that, or even like Alien or
Oh yeah,
Terminator, something along those lines of just like kind of a sci-fi badass chick. That would be super fun.
that would be really cool. I could definitely like see you do that, honestly.
Yeah, I'd be so stoked.
Your character in Life is Strange, Steph, is so likable and relatable. Are there any parts to her that you added in yourself, or maybe anything that was improvised?
Most everything was pretty to the script just because it's all very like calculated. So you have
Mhm.
to make sure that you are saying exactly what was on the paper.
Yeah.
I mean, they have like a a script supervisor on set who is making sure that you're saying the right words. And if you say something wrong,
Mm.
then we have to redo the take. So not much room for improvising, but they're always really open to like if a line doesn't make sense to you, or if you feel like maybe your character wouldn't say that, or maybe it feels weird for you to say something like that. It feels not natural. You can always approach one of the writers and just say, "Hey," and then they'll just rewrite it for you. It's a really collaborative environment and conversation you can have with these writers. So that was always really nice. I mean, definitely the voice. The voice is for sure something that yeah, that's me, and I made that decision of where to put her inflection and stuff. And that's crazy to think that like she is who she is because of just one choice that I made. Um, you know, it's a part of who she is. But yeah.
That's great though, like that they were able to collaborate with you in that way, and
Yeah.
you're able to bring a part of yourself to the character.
Yeah, and, like, once especially because I've worked with them for such a long time and they know me, as an actor, they started writing for me as an actor,
Mm.
and that's at least what they did on True Colors, the writers on True Colors, they did that for all of the actors. They were able to find the actor's strengths and then just capitalize off of that and write towards that, which was really cool and unique. So every time I got to set, it's like the lines just kind of flowed really naturally out of something I would actually say,
Mhm.
which was awesome. Yeah.
Well, I love that. I love that you were able to do that because I've it can go either way with that kind of production. But when it comes to Steph, what's a random headcanon for her that maybe isn't something we've seen in the games, but it's something you see and think, yeah, Steph would like this, whether it's like her favorite food or something like that. Like you're thinking like, oh, Steph would definitely love this.
I feel like we know so much about her though. I feel
Hmm.
like with all of the stuff, I don't know if there's like a headcanon that I have for her that I'm like, oh yeah, she for sure would do this.
Yeah, I
I
was
don't
wondering because
know.
I feel like fans always come up with that kind of stuff.
I haven't seen a lot of like things differing from, like, who she is, though, because she has so like, there's not I mean, yes, there's a ton of room for exploration with her for, like, fanfics and stuff, but
Yeah.
she's painted pretty well. Like, we have a very, really good picture of Steph where fans can already take what she is and go off of that. So it's,
Yeah.
like, hard for me to think of something that, I have seen out there that doesn't already exist with her.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, we do have a lot with her because with the games, the DLC, the
Yeah.
book.
Yeah, the
So,
book really dived in
hmm,
a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot, which was really
definitely.
cool to see.
For the True Colors DLC, what was your favorite part of it? When I saw she was getting her own, I was so excited about it.
Yeah, definitely just being able to explore her emotionally, like,
Mhm.
really, 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 like, deep down with what happened in Arcadia Bay and being able to talk with Mikey again, and, I mean, that scene with her when she's playing D&D,
Yeah.
with him, like, I mean, that was just so fun for me. I mean, it's a sad scene, but it was so fun for me to do because I haven't dived that deep into her emotionally yet before. I definitely did in the book, but yeah. So I would say just those moments where she is kind of having her PTSD
Mhm.
flashbacks during the fall season, and then definitely that scene with Mikey. That was just really as an actor dynamic for me to jump into. Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciated that the DLC had that aspect to it. It could have just been like, oh, just silly fun and stuff, which I love that part too. Like, I love the
Yeah.
music and all that, and like the calls and everything. And the little dating app thing was so fun too.
Yeah.
I got so invested in that. Like, I was like replying to everyone. But I like that it had that balance, that emotional balance.
Yeah, I mean, that was the first time that the franchise and the fans and the fandom were able to see what their choices did to the
Hmm.
other people in the town besides the main characters of the OG story. You only when you play Life is Strange OG, you only think about Chloe and Max. You're not really thinking about anybody else in that moment.
Yeah.
And I think that that was a really unique way of bringing back your decision and showing
Hmm.
you whatever decision you made, Steph is hurting in some way. And that's just one character from that town. There's so many other people in that town who are hurting in some way by whatever decision you made.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, especially if like you decided, to save the town and, like what is Kate's feelings of losing Chloe? We don't know, but
Yeah.
it was really cool to be able to explore a character and to see what your choice did to them. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to like when it started off and it said, "Oh, what was your choice at the end of the first game?" I was like, "Uh-oh." I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, we're gonna like dive in, huh?"
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. So for the book, Life is Strange, Steph's story, it's a book where fans of Steph can learn more about her character. What was your experience like getting to do the audio narration for the book? How was
Yeah, that
that?
was my first ever audio book that I ever did.
Mhm.
And it was really special. It was really cool. I was just excited to be able to explore stuff more and to have her be brought to life again. I mean, she's been a character that's been with me as an actor since 2016 or 2017, like in
Wow.
the right in the beginning of 2017. So she's been with me for so long. And it's just amazing that she keeps resurfacing and I get so excited and I just, I cross my fingers she might resurface again somewhere.
Yeah.
For me to be able to explore her again, I know she's in this next upcoming novel as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was just amazing to be able to play her again, to be able to get back into her voice. And again, experience her emotional side. Um, she has a lot of like, and especially at that point too, she was dealing more with that trauma,
Mhm.
from what happened in Arcadia Bay. So yeah, that dives really deep into that. And you get to explore her with a relationship. I mean, even more than you did with Alex and her. And it's
Yeah.
really cool to read that story and to listen to that story and imagine, oh my gosh, this is what Steph might have been thinking, around Alex because we get to go really deep into how she feels about Izzy and like, so yeah, it was just a really cool, special experience. And I hold it very close to my heart.
Yeah, I'm glad they did that. And I'm glad that we've gotten so many different ways to just learn more about Steph. I feel
Hmm.
like she's definitely one of like the most like popular characters and because she's so likable and relatable, you know?
Yeah. I mean, they jam packed her. Like, I mean, yeah, it's interesting. Like, she's just so relatable and she's so cool. I mean, she's got
She
every
is.
single aspect of herself is just so insanely cool. So, yeah.
She's got just like that vibe, you know, like that really
Hmm.
cool vibe to her. But yeah, some fans of the franchise have been wanting a Life is Strange game that has a lot of like or maybe even all like the main characters kind of come together in like one
The
story.
Avengers.
Yeah, like Avengers Life
Dude,
is Strange.
yes.
How do you feel about that? If
Oh
that
my
would
god, yes, please again, like I will come back as Steph in any way, please, shape or form. Yes, thank you.
it
No, I think that would be incredible. I mean, how cool would that be, right? I mean,
would
that's
be.
fan service to a T, especially if they get folks from Liz too. Those poor people they've been hungry. Like they're hungry over there. No, I think that would be awesome and so fun. And I love like everybody from the cast too. And so it'd be really cool to
Mhm.
just be a part of something again with them. So, yeah.
That would be just really cool to see, just to see all these characters that haven't interacted before, just to see how they would, you know, bounce off each other and all that. I think it'd be really
Yeah.
cool.
I mean, it would be like a huge, like, I mean, it has to be some kind of mystery thing or something, something another where these
Hmm.
like and the main power characters have to like come together to, bring all their powers to fight this one thing or try to figure out
Yeah.
this mystery. And then you have all of the non-powerful people just that were also, main characters back again too in some aspect. So I think that'd be really cool.
So, okay, a lot of video games recently are receiving live action adaptations. And there's
Mhm.
been rumors floating around that Life is Strange could potentially get a show.
Mhm.
If it did, what would you hope to see in it?
I think one thing with Life is Strange that a lot of the fandom doesn't understand is that it's more than just the original game. Life is
Hmm.
Strange has developed
Yep.
into stories about people.
Hmm.
and what they deal with and how they use their powers to handle real life situations. Um, that is Life is Strange. I know there's a lot of people who, are so attached to the first story, and that did set a precedent for what we have today, but that story has developed, even with like Liz 2, who were the same developers, they brought in a new power, they brought in new
Hmm.
characters. So it's like even the original developers wanted it to go in that direction where they wanted to explore what this franchise could be. So with an adaptation, a Life is Strange adaptation, I could see them. I mean, I don't know what they would do. I don't know if they would try to do something along the lines of what we already have, like kind of relive another Max and Chloe story, or
Hmm.
if they would do something completely different, like take the power aspect of it, call it Life is Strange, have completely different characters. I feel like it would
Hmm.
piss a lot of people off, but I almost feel like I could see them doing that, Not wanting to piss people off, but I could just see them wanting to explore different stories because and I don't even know like how it all I don't know the nitty-gritties of the thing. Like I don't know what happens when like a publisher allows like a big corporate, entertainment company to take on an IP television
Yeah.
wise. I don't know what happens. I don't know if they sell the rights complete. I have no idea. So I don't even know like how much Square would even have a say in anything. I don't know. But yeah, I would just like to see just these continued stories being told. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
In
something
some
like
aspect.
that. It could go so many different ways because I mean, with all the adaptations we've had recently, like you have something like Last of Us where it's practically like exactly the same, and then you
Yeah,
have like the Fallout show which took the world but then did their own story.
I can
So,
see Life is Strange doing something similar to that. I feel
yeah.
like, yeah, yeah, I feel like that would be.
That
I
might
don't know
be
though.
I was gonna say that might be the safer option, but I don't know. When it comes to adaptions, it really, it's hard to kind of please a giant
The Last of
fan
Us did
base.
an incredible job. I don't know,
Oh
like
yeah. No,
they did
that
an
was
incredible
great.
job.
Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah,
thought Fallout was good too, but like I
I
guess
haven't
it
seen Fallout, so I don't.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
I haven't seen or played. I know nothing about
Mm.
Fallout, so
Well, it seems like most Fallout fans seem to like it
yeah.
because it was its own thing, but still in the world, so kind of just like expanded on what we know, kind of thing.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, but I think it made sense for Last of Us to be like direct because it's a linear story,
Yes.
so you want
Yeah.
to kind of stick to that. So I guess with Life is Strange, you have all these different
Well,
stories and
and there's
characters.
already so many stories, like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what one, like, of all the stories we have now, like, what one would do the best. I almost feel
Yeah.
like Life is Strange 2 would probably do better as a live action just
Mm-hmm.
because of, like, the dynamic of it and, where it goes and the travel aspect of it. Like, I feel like that would fit better on screen, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows?
That's true. Yeah. It's just so many different possibilities with something like
Mhm.
that. And I always get nervous anytime they announce like an adoption. I get excited but nervous, You just never know.
Same, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's like it's interesting too because it's like book adaptions too.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's whatever the original medium is, you attach onto that and it's hard to, allow for something else and something new to come into place, especially when it could
True.
affect what you already know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, I guess for the next few questions, I have some stream related kind of
Mhm,
questions.
yeah.
What first got you into streaming and what is it about streaming that's kept you doing it for so long? I stream myself and I have my own reasons for that, but I'm curious what your reasons are.
Yeah, so I started streaming right after being in Before the Storm. It was
Hmm.
like a month after the game had released, and I was introduced to Twitch, and then very, very quickly created a channel and started streaming and kind of like dove like face first. And then I've just been doing it for so long. It's like I don't know anything else at this point. Like it's been like 7 years. Yeah, which is crazy. So it's been 7 years. It's been a long time. And yeah, I just enjoy the community that
Hmm.
has been created through my streaming. I'm so close with so many of these people and like they just, in a sense feel like my internet family. And to know that I can just go live and they'll be there and they'll hang out with me and they don't judge me. They don't, they support me whether I'm happy or sad. Like they're just excited to have me on their screen. And I love to be able to just bring joy to people and bring, be able to motivate people and inspire people and just bring a sense of light to their lives that may be dark at times. And I think
Mhm.
that's what really keeps me going. I just feel like I have a purpose to entertain and be a source for these people.
Yeah. I think you do a great job of that. I've been to a lot of your streams.
Yeah, yeah, which
Um,
is crazy. I mean, you've been in the community for years.
yeah, literally.
Yeah. Yeah, like actual years. And you're always
Mhm.
so supportive, and I really appreciate you. So thank you.
Oh, no, thank you. Like you're always like a light, you know? And anytime I feel down or something and I'm on one of your streams, it's always like a nice distraction, but also it's a very welcoming community. You know, you've built such an amazing community and everyone there is so kind. And I just
Mm,
love spending time there.
that makes me happy to hear. Thank you.
On your streams, you do a variety of things from like gaming to art and so much more. A big thing I really admire is your dedication to charity streams.
Mm.
Are there any charities that you've contributed to in particular that you'd like to spotlight, maybe?
Oh my gosh, like all of them. American Heart Association, Best Friends, Animal Society, and Starlight Children's Foundation are like my three like main ones that I love raising money for because I'm just connected to them in some way. Like Starlight was just a whim. They contacted me, I think like 4 years ago. Just, how all these charities contact streamers like, I want to stream for
Yeah.
our charity. And I was like, oh, okay. And then after 4 years later, like, it's just been this really special organization for myself and my community to be able to help these children. And I really like what they stand for. I've met the CEO, very, very kind, genuine person. Yeah, I mean, just an incredible organization. American Heart Association is close to me because of my family. My mom and my sister both have congestive heart failure. And so to be able to raise money that directly like supports my family and what, my sister and my mom are fighting, really, really means a lot. And being able to bring them on my stream to be a part of the charity stream is like
Hmm.
so special. They've done it 2 years in a row and I look forward to next year. And then Best Friends is just like when I moved out to LA, the Best Friends was my first ever charity stream. And when I moved out to LA, like before streaming or anything, my friend had adopted a cat from Best Friends. And she was like, "Oh, Katie, like they do volunteering." And I was like, "Oh, cool." And so I would drive up there and I would volunteer at the shelter, just like hanging out with dogs, walking dogs, socializing with cats. And then fast forward to like 2019, and I had an opportunity to do my first ever charity stream and I chose Best Friends. And yeah, it's just been again something that's been close with me. And I was able to go to the sanctuary in Utah back in April, which
Oh,
was
wow.
just phenomenal. Yeah, they brought me out there, which was so cool. And so special to be able to see like the core of an organization and just to see again how genuine they are there. I got to meet some of the founders. There's like a dozen founders. Like there's like 20 some founders. It's insane. But I got to meet I think 3 of them and they were all so nice and it's just yeah. So anyways, those 3.
Not to be a little bit of, I guess, of a downer right now or something, but you mentioned the Heart Association. That just like really got me. Because my dad had passed away from CHF. So
Oh,
it was like just hearing that, I'm like, now I want to look into that, you know, and do
yeah,
that
you
too.
should. It's first I am so sorry to hear about that, but it's insane how many people are affected
Mhm.
or, or have family members who have been affected. When I
Yeah.
do the American Heart Association streams, it's wild. People in this chat just start sharing their stories. And it's feels nice to bring everybody together and where you feel supported. And also too, it's just really special, I think, to find an organization that speaks to you in some way because it makes it more real.
Yeah.
Like I could be raising money for any charity, right? Just to do it. But it's like if I don't have a genuine connection to it, like it's not gonna come from a heart, the heart. You know what I mean? It's just gonna be like, oh, let's raise money. Like there needs to be some special hook in it for yourself
Yeah.
so you can feel good about it and so your community can see that you genuinely care and what it means. So yeah, I mean, outside of the interview, if you have any questions, I can get you hooked up with folks over at the Heart Association. They would absolutely love to talk with you.
Oh, that would be great. I would love to learn
Yeah,
more about that because I've
yeah.
been wanting to like start doing some charity streams like that.
Yeah.
So I think
It's
that's
really,
good.
really fulfilling. It's like it's
Yeah.
rewarding. It feels really great. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Let's see. Is okay, this one's kind of a vague question. Totally fine if nothing comes to mind for this. When it comes to creative endeavors, you do so much. Is there anything that you haven't attempted but maybe one day would like to?
I think like I've always told myself it'd be fun to do just like one stand up, like just for five
Oh,
minutes, just once.
yeah.
I don't want to become a comedian. I don't want to become a stand up person. Like I just want to do it just so I can say I did it. I would like to just do it just for 5 minutes just so I could say I did it. And then that's it. I don't need to do it again. Martial arts would be cool to get into as well.
Ooh,
And I think
yeah.
would help a lot with a lot of the things like in directions and characters I want to try to portray.
True.
Uh,
It's a good
so,
skill
and
to have.
yeah, I know, and that's something that I could be doing now. I just need to find the time. But
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, those little things.
I think those are good ones to go for.
Yeah. I have friends in stand up. I don't know how they even stay alive in stand up. I don't want anything to do with it other than just saying I've done it. That's it.
Yeah, I think it's so scary. Like I couldn't.
Yeah, like give me a script. I don't know. And like being on Twitch is different. I know it's all improv and stuff, but
Yeah.
and I'm not, I don't know, like I think I'm better at improv than I think I am, but I still get
Mhm.
really nervous like being on stage, not knowing what I'm saying. And then for me, like doing stand up, it's like, okay, I have to write jokes. I don't know anything about writing jokes. And like the idea behind it, like, oh, something happens throughout your day that's funny. Okay, jot it down. And then you
Mhm.
create jokes that way. But it's just not in my brain. Like I don't know. But yeah. But
Yeah.
one day I will try.
I think you should do it at least once just to see.
Yes.
Is there any advice for aspiring actors out there that was something you wish you knew when you were first starting out?
That rejection is inevitable and
Mhm.
it will happen more than you want it to, but you have to be okay with it.
Yeah.
You have to be okay with it. I remember back when I was in college, I was a sophomore in college and I got my first call back for a play and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to book it. Like I'm going to get this. I'm going to be cast. Like I can't wait." And then I found out that I was not cast.
Mhm.
And I remember going to my car and sitting there and crying and calling my mom. And I was like, right there in that moment, I was like, this is how it's going to be. And that was the last time that I cried over not booking something or not, being cast because
Yeah.
it was just this thing that I hadn't experienced yet. But I quickly understood that if I want to do this, this is rejection is going to be there. Yeah,
Mhm.
you're going to have rejection more times than you book anything. Like it's like
Yeah.
sometimes it could be years before you book something again, but you just have to keep putting yourself out there and you have to know it's like it's mostly subjective. A lot of it's who you know too.
Mhm.
Your talent almost comes last, which sucks because really they look at a picture of you and they're like, oh, does this person look like somebody that I want in this role? If not, okay, next. It deals with a
Yeah.
lot of like that's the subjectiveness of it. It's like, do you look the part? Oh, if you do, okay, let me watch your reel, and oh, they like you. Okay, cool. Let's bring you in. Oh, we have to see if your chemistry works with the other actors now. Okay, let's see if that works. Oh, it doesn't. Okay, bye. Like you might be a good actor, but it just doesn't work for some reason or another. And that is more often than not because there's like sometimes 6,000 submissions to these breakdowns online. And you like, I mean, God, it feels good when you win one, right? And you're like, man, I was picked
Yeah.
out of 6,000 people. But the likelihood of it is that you won't be, but you just have to keep fighting and keep auditioning and knowing that, your right part will come along and it'll all be worth it in the end. But yeah, you could go years again without being booked for something. So thick skin, positive attitude, and yeah, don't get too discouraged.
Yeah, it seems like persistence is definitely key, and I feel like
Yeah.
that applies to a lot of different areas of like art and stuff, whether it's
Oh
like
yeah.
writing or something, or
It's
it
yeah.
it applies to a whole bunch of stuff. It definitely you gotta kind of just get used to the rejection
You
until you
do.
get to
It's
that
an
point.
unconventional lifestyle. You're not in a 9 to
Mhm.
5 where you do the same thing every single day and like, do reports and, whatever and like you get like a pat on the back for getting something in on time. Like no, like it's you make up your own schedule. You do, your own thing and yeah, it's just unconventional. But We do it because we love it, because
Hmm.
we don't wanna have a 9 to 5. We wanna be able to be free. We don't wanna be constrained to this, like, boring lifestyle. So, yeah.
I think that's important to keep in mind too, is like to keep the love for it, because that's going
Mhm.
to help you keep trying and trying, because I feel
Yeah.
like once you lose it, then that just
Yeah.
becomes a lot harder.
Mhm.
Um, and what you said about, it's like who can also help and stuff too. I've I've noticed that a lot of people now use like social media to kind of connect with certain people like that. And like I've connected with a whole bunch of people on Twitter. Like it's kind of crazy how like many people you can connect with on there.
Mhm.
Um, and I went from like not really having any opportunities really to like now I currently have like certain people looking at certain things that I've written because
Mhm.
of, people that I've talked with online. Like this
Yeah.
person liked my script and was like, "Oh, this person now wants to read that." And I'm like, "There you go." Like
Yeah.
that's
It's all
just
about
sometimes how it
networking.
goes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
networking is really, really important in this industry, and, yeah, you gotta be good at it.
Yeah. That's something that I've had to learn for sure. Put the nerves away,
Mhm.
and just put yourself out there despite how it might turn out.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, yeah, I mean, gosh, the amount of times I've messaged somebody or emailed somebody and just shot my shoot my shot, shot
Yeah.
it, you know what I mean? Yeah,
Mhm.
gotta shoot your shot. The amount of times I've done that, and haven't had a response back is so many times, and, like, it doesn't matter, who cares? Just put yourself out there, like, maybe something good will come from it, maybe nothing will come from it, but at least you put yourself out there, because that's action. Nothing's gonna happen unless you take action. Nothing's gonna
Yeah.
fall on your lap if you're just sitting there twiddling your thumbs, like, you have to take action, so
If you're putting yourself out there, let's say you reach out to someone and you don't hear back right away, it could be months or even like a year or even longer later, and you hear from them and they're like, "Oh, I remember you did this thing. This could work for
yeah.
this thing." Like you just never know.
Mhm. Exactly. Yeah.
So I think it's good advice. But that was actually all the questions that I have for you.
Oh, heck yeah.
Um, so thank you so much for just being so awesome
Yeah.
and like fun to talk to. I mean, I know
Yeah.
you would be, but
Yeah, I hope that, like, I hope your viewers and everything will be interested in what I gotta say. I haven't done a podcast in, gosh, so long, so I was like, felt rusty.
Oh, no, they're gonna be excited because, I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of people that are, like, part of, like, my communities are big Life is Strange fans, but also fans
Yeah.
of you, so
Yeah.
I know they're definitely gonna be excited. I haven't told them yet, like, they keep
Oh,
wondering, like
cool.
they're like, "Oh, who's the next person? Who's the next person?" I'm like, "Oh, you're gonna have to see, I don't know."
Aw, yay.
So,
Cool.
I'm excited to tell them they're gonna be
I feel bad
pumped.
calling them out being like, "The fandom doesn't understand Life is Strange." They're gonna be like,
No,
You
no.
suck, Katie."
No, I
I
really liked talking to you about that because like, I
Yeah.
can get that, I get what you mean by that. I
Yeah, and I
definitely
love the Life is Strange fandom. I mean, I wouldn't be
Yeah.
here if it wasn't for them.
Mhm.
But man, there's some fans in the fandom that are just so gung ho and they will not stop. And I'm like, guys, it's gonna be okay. It's
Yeah.
gonna be okay.
I feel like
Um,
that tends to be, the case with a lot of fandoms too. There's always like, just like a group that's
yeah,
very passionate about one thing that's not really
yes,
going that way anymore, and yeah, I don't
yes.
know.
No, I agree. But yeah, cool. Well, thank you again for having me. I really appreciate it.